It's day 23 of 30 days of Photoshop. My name's Kevin Aronson from Hampshire School of Photography. Day 23 is the second day in a row we're looking at Liquify. Following on then from yesterday's part 1 of Liquify, part 2 is going to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to send this picture to the Liquify environment, which I can do either by dropping down filter and selecting Liquify from here. By the way, you can see Liquify here. Don't click on that. What happens is once you use any of the filters in this drop down menu, Photoshop memorizes the last one you used and adds it to the top to make it convenient for you, so you don't have to go searching for it. But the problem is it's memorized the last settings that I did with Liquify, so I may not want those settings. I almost certainly won't. So I never ever open Liquify up from there. I only ever Liquify from here. So I'm going to click on that and we open up the Liquify environment. So yesterday, if you remember, we looked at the forward warp tool, reconstruct tool and the smooth tool. Today we're going to look at a few others. So some of them are really quite useful and some of them less so. There's the first one here. Look at this, the twirl clockwise tool. So there is a use for this. You could, if you wanted to. You wanted to tilt her head very slightly, you could. If I clicked on her head, you could see, you could kind of straighten the head up a little bit, be quite helpful. But I'm not entirely sure I'd use it that often. I don't think I've ever used it, to be frank, except in playing around. So if I'm just going to undo that a couple of times. So I can click it that way, but if I hold down the Option key on a Mac or the Alt key on a PC, it twists the other way. So without the button held down, it twists it clockwise. With the button held down, it twists it anti-clockwise. Does that make sense? Yeah, sure it does. And if we want to do something really weird with her eyes, for instance, I would click like this. But I don't want both of them to do that. I want this one to go the other way. So I'm holding the button down, Option on a Mac, Alt on a PC, and I'm clicking on the eye with my mouse, and every time I click it turns it. Every time I click it turns it. Yeah, we'll just undo that. Incidentally, there's a tool I wanted to show you yesterday, but I didn't get around to. The Reconstruct tool. Reconstruct brings up a little slider, and you can go back in time to undo your changes. How about that? There we go. I can play around with my changes and change them like that. Okay, so we'll undo all of those. So that's the twirl clockwise tool, or you can hit C for shortcut. Next one's interesting. The pucker tool, the pucker. It has a counterpart called the bloat tool underneath. That's bloat, not bloke. And the pucker tool, let me show you bloat first of all. Let me click on a nose. You can see what's happening. They're getting big noses. It's so cool. Okay, the pucker tool does the opposite. And providing you start off with the right size, which I am about to do, then as you click it, it reduces things. So I'll just do those as well. There we go. I wonder how close I am to the original. Let's have a look. Oh, miles out. Never mind. So the bloat and pucker can be used on other items. And what about an ear roll? Can we do an ear roll? Let's see if we can make an ear roll smaller. Oh yeah, look at that. And that one. There you go. I'll tell you where the bloat tool is used. Most of all, I'm going to reset this. Let's reset it. Restore all. And in fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cancel this and open up another image. Let's open up this one. And we're going to send this one to Liquify using the Shift Command X keys, which on a PC will be Shift Control. X. Okay, Shift Control X or Shift Command X sends the photo straight into Liquify. Yeah, so the bloat tool, if you move it over an eye, this is the way we used to do it up until a few years ago. Here's the thing: when you photograph someone and someone beautiful, child or a gorgeous lady, one of the things I do automatically is to make their eyes just a little bit bigger. I mean, just a little bit, almost imperceptibly larger. But we go for people with big eyes. We love babies because of big eyes. Those seal pups, in Antarctica with their great big eyes, or bunny rabbits with big eyes. We're a sucker for big eyes. So if you make the eyes just a fraction bigger, the picture is more appealing. So I'd pick the bloat tool, just make it big enough so that it covers the eye. So there, I'm using the square bracket keys to change the size of the brush. I'm just going to click once on that eye. Watch. Oh, it grew a little bit. And then this one. And I might do one more. And one more. And that's it. And let's try this one. And this one. That's all I would do. That is all I would do. Just makes the eyes a little bit bigger. Sufficiently big that subconsciously the face is now more attractive, but never big enough that anyone could ever spot that you've done it. If anyone ever spots what you've done in Photoshop when you're working on someone's face, unless they know you're removing moles and doing really weird stuff, usually all changes should be almost imperceptible. They should not be spotted. If people spotted them, you've gone too far. So that was the pucker and that was the bloat. All right. This one here, the push left tool, is the source of all terrible stories, the source of all 21st century anguish. It is the tool that makes you slimmer. Yeah, it is. I'm going to close this one down. I'm going to go back to, actually, let's go to this one. This is about 8 years old, and beautiful girl's name. I just can't remember at the moment. Hazel, I think her name was, and she absolutely beautiful red hair. And we set up a temporary studio, and she'd be a perfect model to try the push left. So this is the push left tool, or O. And the thing is with push left, just make this a little bit bigger. You'll see now why everybody. This is a really contentious tool. Watch. It's making her slimmer. So if you're the left hand side and you want to push off to the right, you draw your mouse down. We'll sort this out in a moment. If you're on the right hand side of the person and you want it to push left, you move your mouse up. And oops, let's go the other way. Make your arms a bit slimmer. And this one. And this one. Okay. Get rid of that little bit of a bump there. Push your bottom in a little bit. Take that hip down. And there she is, super slim. And this is the tool that's responsible for all those perfect body shapes in ladies' magazines, the ones that get all the criticism. So you can see what I mean when I say people not necessarily happy with this tool because it can be abused. I don't like that thing sticking out, so I would probably just brushing it across here. As you can see, it's going a bit smaller just to get that little bit there. You can get rid of some really nasty, bad fitting clothes thingies. Now, if we go a little bit closer, I'm sorry that it's all around her boobs. I'm not trying to be rude or anything. But you see, we've got this kind of strange thing going on here. So you remember the smooth tool that we looked at yesterday. Let's just see if this helps here. Make it smaller, and oh, that's better. That's better. Lovely. Yeah, that's good. What about down here? So that might help. No, it doesn't. So I'm just going to use the forward warp tool to push in that crease there, so it's less obvious, and then we can perhaps try and push this soft box back a little bit. Now here's the thing, where you've got two edges which are quite close to each other, we have a way around that as well, and just here is something called a freeze mask tool. If I was to paint, let me go a bit closer. If I paint on, I think her name's, it's Hayley, not Hazel. Her name's Hayley, that's it. If I paint on Hayley's top there, just like that, with a little bit just overhanging the tools, so there is zero amount of her clothing visible. Just going to do that tiny amount I've accidentally posted on. There. Okay. And let's zoom back out. And now I'll go back to forward warp tool. I can push that back without dragging her clothes across. It's not so easy, but it can be done. It masks off any picture you want from being affected by the tool that you're using in Liquify. Now, they are so incredibly close, just got zoomed in a bit there, that I'd probably fix that with a clone stamp tool or one of the other tools. But nevertheless, I was able to draw this out. You can see this, actually you can see the stretch marks in the background there. The stretch marks, particularly there. Can you see those just in this area here? But it's managed to stretch without pulling anything out of it. I didn't quite cover it sufficient now, a small amount, you know, maybe, I don't know, 20 pixels. How close can we zoom in on this? I mean, a small, really tiny number of pixels have managed to escape there, because I didn't quite take the masking sufficiently over her top. But, you know, this can be corrected in the main part of Photoshop. But there you go. Okay, we'll cancel that. I had this picture, which obviously is not a person, it's a thing, but let's send this into Liquify. And the same thing applies. Push left tool. As I go down, this will make this narrower. As I go up, it makes it narrow on the other side. So I can effectively sculpt this. Isn't that cool? So I'm pushing down in one direction, and when I'm on the other side, I push up. It is so ridiculously cool. I absolutely love that. Okay, what's left? I can't remember what the other tools were. Let's just pick a picture and send it in. So it's Shift Command X on a Mac, or Shift Control X on a PC, and that will send the picture straight into Liquify. Good. So what's left? Oh yeah, okay. So the freeze mask, if I wanted to paint it on to prevent a part of the picture being affected, I could do. But if there was any part, say I accidentally went over a top like that, I can click on this one, which is Thor mask, and I can paint it off. I can also use the Alt or Option key. So let me just take that off completely. And if I have done what you see here and gone over onto the wrong person, I don't have to go up here and click on the Thor mask. I can just hold the Option or the Alt key, and that applies to so many things in Photoshop. If you apply a special effect with your brush, you can normally reverse the effect by pressing the Alt or Option key. There we go. It's good. So yesterday was pretty good in Liquify, but today we've taken it to a whole new level. have fun playing with those controls. Oh man, they are just so great fun to play with. If you're watching this and you've not been following the 30 days of Photoshop, then log on to our website, phototeacher.blog, and there you'll see all 30, and there you'll see all 30 free 30 days of Photoshop teaching sessions, part of the series 30 days of Photoshop, and that's where I post my regular teaching blogs and videos and blah blah. But if you're looking for real teaching in a real classroom with real people, then we have a training centre in Fleet, which is in North Hampshire, and there we teach not only just Photoshop, advanced Photoshop and Lightroom, but we also run all our photography workshops. So whether it's a one-day workshop or maybe a workshop that runs over a few days, or maybe it's one of our one-year courses, check it out. Check out the website. Go hsp.com. Go hsp.com. Thanks for watching today. See you tomorrow.